Hello all, welcome to the new lecture of second order equations, differential equations. In this lecture, we will discuss the method of solving homogeneous equations with the constant coefficients. We know that the standard form of a homogeneous equation with the constant coefficients are of the form ay double dash plus by dash plus cy equal to 0 where a, b, c are arbitrary constants. So in order to solve this problem, it is very easy that for solving the homogeneous equations with the constant coefficients. So here we are discussing the different methods for solving this. First of all, we assume that there is a solution of the form y equal to e raised to lambda t for the equation 1. So equation 1 is the homogeneous second order differential equation having constant coefficients a, b and c. So in order to find the solution or the method how to find the solution of this equation number 1, first of all we may assume that there is a solution of the form y equal to e raised to lambda t. Then it will satisfy equation number 1. So y dash is equal to lambda e raised to lambda t. Y double dash is equal to lambda square e raised to lambda t. Now substituting these values in the left side of the equation, we have ay double dash plus by dash plus c is equal to a lambda square e raised to lambda t plus b lambda e raised to lambda t plus c into e raised to lambda t. So taking e raised to lambda t is common, we have a lambda square plus b lambda plus c into e raised to lambda t equal e raised to lambda t. Since equation 2 is a solution, we have this must be equal to 0. But this happens only if the factor a lambda square plus b lambda plus c equals 0. Since e raised to lambda t being the exponential function, it can never be 0. So this product will be 0 only if a lambda square plus b lambda plus c equal to 0. That means we can say that the equation 1 has a solution of the form y equal to e raised to lambda t, or y equal to e raised to lambda t is a solution of equation 1 if this quadratic equation holds, or if lambda is the solution of the quadratic equation a lambda square plus b lambda plus c equal to 0. So this equation is called the characteristic equation or auxiliary equation of our given equation number 1. The nature of the roots of the characteristic equation are as follows. Nature of roots of the characteristic equation. Okay. So we have already seen that for the equation with the constant coefficients, y equal to e raised to lambda t will be a solution if lambda satisfies the quadratic equation, that is a lambda square plus b lambda plus c. So about the nature of the roots of this quadratic equation, we can have the solution for the corresponding equation 1. So being the quadratic equation and since A, B and C are real constants, we have the auxiliary equation or the characteristic equation have three types of roots possible. That is the nature of the roots depends upon the discriminant b square minus 4ac. If the discriminant is positive, b square minus 4ac is positive, then the quadratic equation or the auxiliary equation have real and distinct roots, say lambda 1 and lambda 2. Now the second possibility is b square minus 4ac, discriminant is 0. Then we have real and equal roots, and the third possibility is it may have complex conjugates. That means lambda 1 equal to some p plus iq where p is the real part and q is the imaginary part, and lambda 2 equal to p minus iq. This happens if the discriminant b square minus 4ac is less than 0. Now we discuss each case here and find the general solution of the given equation, homogeneous equation with the constant coefficients. First, case 1. The auxiliary equation has two roots, lambda 1 and lambda 2, such that they are real and distinct. So, if lambda is a root of the auxiliary equation, we have y equal to e raised to lambda t is the solution. So using that, we can say that y1 equal to e raised to lambda 1t and y2 equal to e raised to lambda 2t are two solutions of equation number 1. Now, these two solutions will constitute a fundamental set of solution only if their Wronskian is not equal to 0. Then what will be the Wronskian of these two functions? It will be e raised to lambda t, first row, then e raised to lambda 2t, then derivative lambda 1 e raised to lambda 1t, then lambda 2 e raised to lambda 2t determinant. So this is equal to, multiplying this, we will have lambda 2 minus lambda 1 into e raised to lambda 1 plus lambda 2 into t. Since e raised to lambda 1 plus lambda 2 into t doesn't vanish, Wronskian will vanish only if lambda 2 equal to lambda 1. But here we have the case that lambda 1 is not equal to lambda 2 always. So the Wronskian never vanishes throughout the interval of definition. Therefore, the set form a fundamental set of solutions. This set to form a fundamental set of solutions, and hence the general solution is given by y of t is equal to e raised to lambda 1t plus c2 into e raised to lambda 2t. c1 e raised to lambda 1t plus c2 e raised to lambda 2t. So this is the case when the auxiliary equation has two real and distinct roots, lambda 1 and lambda 2. Now if the auxiliary equation has the two roots, two real and equal roots, say lambda, then the solution, then also we will have one solution of the form y1 of t equal to e raised to lambda t is a solution. And what is the value of lambda? We have lambda is the solution of the quadratic equation a lambda square plus b lambda plus c is equal to 0, and in that case b square minus 4ac equal to 0. Then by the formula for finding the root minus b plus or minus root of b square minus ac, that will be 0. So this will be minus b by 2a. So the value of lambda will be in the form minus b by 2a. So first solution, one solution is obtained as y1 of t equal to e raised to minus b by 2a into t. Now we, in order to find the general solution, we have to get another linearly independent solution of y1t. Another solution which is linearly independent with the y1. So the method we will discuss later in later sections for finding if one solution is given, we can find another linearly independent solution from this itself. So that method I am not discussing here. Here just we can say that the second independent solution will be of the form y2 of t is equal to t into e raised to lambda t. You can verify that y1 and y2 are linearly independent, or the set y1 y2 form a fundamental set of solutions by considering their Wronskian. So since they are linearly independent, they y1 set y1 and y2 will constitute a fundamental set of solutions or basis, and hence the general solution in this case is given by y of t is equal to c1 plus c2t into e raised to lambda t. So when the quadratic equation or the auxiliary equation has real and equal roots, then the two solutions of the corresponding homogeneous equation with constant coefficients are given by y1 of t equal to e raised to lambda t, y2 of t is equal to t e raised to lambda t, and then the general solution will be in this form y of t equal to c1 e raised to lambda t plus c2 t e raised to lambda t, that can be combined and written in this form. Now we discuss the case when the auxiliary equation has complex roots. That means when the discriminant is negative. So we have taken one root as p plus iq and second root as p minus iq. And this also we will discuss in detail in another section. So here we just mention about the solutions. Now the two solutions we are taking for the second order equation is y1 of t equal to e raised to pt cos qt, y2 of t equal to e raised to pt sin qt. Then the corresponding general solution will be in this form: y of t equal to e raised to pt a into cos qt plus b into sin qt. So this is the three roots, the nature of the three roots and the solution of the corresponding equation in these three cases. So these are the three cases. So in the first case, when the auxiliary equation has real and distinct roots, we have y1 equal to, or the y of t equal to e raised to lambda 1t plus c2 e raised to lambda 2t as the general solution. If it has equal roots, then we have one root is c1 the general solution is c1 plus c2t e raised to lambda t, and when it has complex roots, then general solution will be e raised to pt a cos qt plus b sin qt, where b is the real part of lambda 1 and q is the imaginary part of lambda 1. Now we move to the problems. First consider the problem. Solve the equation y double dash minus y equal to 0. Also find the solution that satisfies the initial conditions y of 0 2 and y dash 0 equal to minus 1. So when we take the equation y double dash minus y equal to 0, we look at the coefficients of y double dash and y. There is no term containing y dash. So the coefficients are 1 and minus 1, which are constants. So we can use this method, the homogeneous equations with the constant coefficient method, to solve this. So when we write, the equation is already in the standard form, that is a y double dash plus b y dash plus c y equal to 0. Comparing this with the standard form, we have a equal to 1, y dash term is absent, so b is equal to 0 and c is equal to minus 1. Then first of all, in order to solve this equation, first of all we have to write the auxiliary equation, find the roots of the auxiliary equation, and according to the nature of the roots, write the standard form. So this is the procedure. So first of all, we have to write the auxiliary equation. So we have obtained A, B and C. Then the auxiliary equation is A lambda square plus B lambda plus C equal to 0. That is A equal to 1, B 0, C equal to minus 1. So the equation will be lambda square minus 1 equal to 0, which is of the form A square minus B square. So we can factorize that. Then we will obtain the values as lambda 1 equal to minus 1, lambda 2 equal to 1. So two real and distinct roots for the auxiliary equation 2. So real and distinct roots are there for the auxiliary equation. Therefore, y1 of t equal to e raised to lambda 1t, that is e raised to minus t, and y2 t equal to e raised to t are two solutions. And we know that in the case when lambda 1 and lambda 2 are real and distinct, the equations or the solutions y1 and y2 will form a fundamental set, and hence the general solution is y of t equal to c1 y1 of t e raised to minus t plus c2 y2 of t, that is e raised to t. So this is the general solution in this case, which is a very simple problem. So now we need to find the particular solution which satisfies the conditions y of 0 equal to 2 and y dash 0 equal to minus 1. So in order to find y dash 0, to apply y dash 0, first of all we have to find the derivative of equation number 3. That is y of t equal to c1 e raised to minus t plus c2 e raised to t. So differentiating this, we will have y dash t equal to minus c1 e raised to minus t plus e2 e raised to t. Since the derivative of e raised to t is e raised to t itself. Now put it as equation number 4. Then applying y of 0 equal to 2. In equation number 3 we have c1 plus c2 equal to 2. And y dash 0 equal to minus 1. In equation number 4 we have minus 1 is equal to minus c1 plus c2. Now adding these two equations we have 2c2 equal to 2 minus 1, that is 1. So c2 equal to 1 by 2. Now substituting this in equation number 3 we have c1 as 3 by 2, c2 is 1 by 2. So y of t equal to 3 by 2 e raised to minus t plus 1 by 2 e raised to t. And so this is the particular solution satisfying the initial condition. So in this method we can solve any problem. Next, to find the general solution of the equation y double dash plus 5y dash plus 6y equal to 0. Now the given equation is in this standard form, that is homogeneous second order equation with the constant coefficients. So comparing this with the equation a y double dash plus by dash plus cy equal to 0. We have a equal to 1, b equal to 5, c equal to 6. So the corresponding auxiliary equation is lambda square plus 5 lambda plus 6 equal to 0. We can factorize this as find two numbers which are product is 6 and sum is 5. They are 2 and 3. So we can factorize this as lambda plus 2 into lambda plus 3 equal to 0. So lambda equal to minus 2 and lambda equal to minus 3. So both are, we can have lambda 1 as minus 2, lambda 2 as minus 3. Again real and distinct roots. So the general solution will be c1 e raised to minus 2t plus e2 e raised to minus 3t. Now find the particular solution of the same problem satisfying the initial condition, or solve the IVP with the initial condition y of 0 2 y dash 0 3. The equation is same, so we have the general solution as e1 e raised to minus 2t plus e2 e raised to minus 3t. So I am not again doing all these works. So now we have to apply y of 0 and y dash 0. For that we have to find what is y dash of t. So y dash of t is minus 2c1 e raised to minus 2t minus 3c2 e raised to minus 3t. Now applying y0 equal to 2 in equation number 2, we have 2 is equal to c1 plus c2 and y dash 0 in equation number 3 we have 3 is equal to minus 2 c1 minus 3 c2. Now multiplying the first equation by 2 and adding this with the second one, we will have 4 plus 3, that is 7 in the left hand side. So c1 will get cancelled, then 2 c1 plus minus 3 c2, that is 2c1 minus 3c2, that is minus c2. So we have c2 is equal to minus 7, and substituting that value in one of the equations, we have c1 equal to 9. Therefore the particular solution or the solution of the IVP is y of t equal to 9 e raised to minus 2t minus 7 e raised to minus 3t. Now find the solution of the IVP. The third problem is 4y double dash minus 8y dash plus 3y equal to 0. Y of 0 2, y dash 0 1 by 2. Again equation is in the standard form. Writing the equation, auxiliary equation, we have 4 lambda square minus 8 lambda plus 3 equal to 0. So here it is very difficult to factorize. So we can directly apply the formula for finding the root of the quadratic equation. So lambda equal to minus b. So it will be plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac. B square minus 4ac will be 64 minus 4 into 4 into 3, 16 into 3, that means 64 minus 48, it will be 16. So root will be 4. So we have 1 plus or minus 1 by 8 into 4 by 8, that is lambda 1 we can take it as 3 by 2 then 1 minus 1 by 2, that is 1 by 2. So the general solution will be C1 e raised to 3t plus C2 e raised to t by 2. Now find the y dash t. Y dash t is 3 by 2 c1 e raised to 3t by 2 plus 1 by 2 c2 e raised to t by 2. Now applying the values y of 0 equal to 2, then we have one equation as 2 equal to c1 plus c2, and applying the second value we will obtain 1 is equal to 3c1 plus c2. Then subtracting this we have minus 2c1 is equal to 1. So C1 equal to minus 1 by 2. C2 is equal to 5 by 2. Applying this we have y of t is equal to minus 1 by 2 e raised to 3t by 2 plus 5 by 2 t by 2. So this is the required solution. Now we can solve all these problems, these type of problems in this manner. So here we have considered only equations having real and auxiliary equations with a real and distinct roots. The other cases will be discussed in the next sections, next lectures. So let's stop here. Before stopping the lecture, I am giving one exercise problem. The question is, find the solution of the IVP 2y double dash minus 3y dash plus y equal to 0, which is a linear homogeneous differential equation with a constant coefficients. With the initial condition y of 0 2, y dash 0 1 by 2. So first of all you have to find the solution. Then one more thing you have to find. Determine the maximum value of the solution and also find the point where the solution is 0. So first of all you have to solve the IVP by considering the auxiliary equation 2 lambda square minus 3 lambda plus 1 equal to 0. So first of all solve this for lambda 1 and lambda 2. Then you will get the general solution y of t in some c1 some plus c2 into some function c1 y1 plus c2 y2 like this. Okay. So after that, so now this is the solution, and applying the initial conditions you will get particular values for c1 and c2. So now you have one particular solution, something into y1 plus something into y2. Okay. So then determine the maximum value. We know that the maximum or minimum of a function is obtained at the points where y dash is equal to 0 or f of x. For a function f of x, it may have the minimum or local minimum or local maximum must exist at the critical points. Critical points are the points where f dash of x is either 0 or not defined. So first of all, we have to find y dash of t equal to the points for t, the points t for which find the points t for which y dash t equal to 0, and at that point consider y double dash. Y double dash let be obtained t naught, so y double dash of t naught. If y double dash of t naught is positive, then it is a point of local minimum, and if y double dash at t naught is negative, we can say that the equation, the function has a maximum. So here we have to find the maximum. So first of all, find the point where which it has maximum, and then maximum value will be is equal to y at t naught. So you have already found y, then substitute that point in the equation for y, then you will get the maximum value. Now find the solution, find the point where the solution is 0. So take y of t as 0 and find the points t. Okay, so this is the method of finding this one. So please do it in your notebook. So let's stop here, and the remaining things we will discuss in the next lecture. Thank you. Thank you all.